So I got an email a couple of days ago from someone. I'll read it out. I've had permission to read it out. Hi Steve, currently unemployed, but I have plans to set up a few different businesses. I have a few ideas for books that I'd like to make a start at, but when I sit down and start to write everything up, whether it's a book or details of product designs, my mind goes blank. I have 1,000,001 ideas bursting around my brain at any one time, but I just can't seem to start. Now it's like reading an email from myself. I think for creative people it's a real issue, and I've always said I think that had I been at school now I might be diagnosed with ADHD. I don't know, but you know, one of the things I've realised since working with my partner is how difficult I do find that. But the difference is, I suppose, that because I've put certain things into practice, certain tools I've learned over the years, I can overcome it with effort, and that's kind of why I'm making this video, because I overcome that by listening to other people that have done the same thing, that are in the same boat. So straight away you've got, I mean, the things that flag up here for me are, I have a few ideas to books that I'd like to make a start at, a few different businesses. Okay, so this is again where I have been for a long time, and I do have a few different businesses, but what I found is, because I have a few different businesses, I do spread myself too thin sometimes and do them all kind of mediocrely. And I'm not on about when I turn up and do the stuff out there, I'm on about the stuff in the planning and the writing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to take you through what I do. Okay, there are very different ways of doing this, and the key is you adapt it, and this is the first part of it. Okay, so I'm not going to do it all on this video because it will go on for too long, but the first part of it, you'll notice I have post-it notes everywhere. There are two ways I do this, okay, depending on where I am and what my situation is. The first thing is, you're sitting down and your mind's going blank. You've got to take a step back. You're almost starting too late, okay, because you're sitting down and you're trying to get into things. Take a step back first, and you've got to unload all that. You've got to unlock that stuff in your head, okay, and that's what all these post-it notes are. And so this is a backlog, okay, and this is from the Scrum. I've adapted it from Scrum, which is a way of an agile thing. I won't go into it, but it's a way of planning time and doing your tasks, completing your tasks. But basically, my backlog up here is everything I'm trying to do, all the jobs I'm trying to do at the moment. And you can do this for a life, like an audit for life, by the way. I did it in a training session the other day, when I say write down everything you're trying to do, everything that is on your mind. So it can be, you know, I've got to fix the squeaky door at home. It can be, I've got to take a dog for a walk every day. So everything you're trying to do gets out. Now, if you haven't got the post-it notes, because it can get quite expensive, do it on a bit of paper. Sorry about the beeping in the background. The thing about the bit of paper is you can't physically move stuff around. So post-it notes are quite cool, you can move them around, but they do kind of, if they're up for too long, start falling off. It's up and up there. So 6 one half doesn't know the other. So you get everything on for every single thing you're trying to do. Now, if you've got most of the life stuff sorted and it's a work thing, just do one for work. Okay, don't mess it up and add too much if you don't have to. So that's all the jobs that need doing, or it was. There was loads more there. And then you've got to prioritize, okay? But that comes next. And what you're trying to avoid is sitting down with all these ideas in your head, because what that does is, once you get everything out, you can have a look at it all, put in the diary, and the diary is so important. If I could say one thing, you know, we're very good at putting stuff in the diary, like meetings and appointments and all that stuff, but we're not very good at putting in the diary things we want to do that you know, the things we haven't got a gun to our head. So that, you know, nobody's telling you you've got to sit down and write, so they're the first thing to not go in the diary. And actually they should be that's, if you want to do it, you've got to put it in a diary first thing. And if something comes up that means, you know, like you get an unexpected meeting or an unexpected phone call and you can't do it at that time, you move it, you do not delete it. So you've again got to leave contingencies in your diary. You've got to leave spaces, but again, another thing which we'll go into on another video. But don't censor yourself when you're getting all this stuff out of your head. The classic thing is that people start thinking too much, so they start doing this mind dump, and they go, oh no, am I going to be able to do that? Forget about that. Don't ask yourself any questions. Just get everything out that you've ever thought of doing in relation to this business idea or these books. And then you can take a step back, then you can look at it and say, right, what's the next step? And the next step is to choose one or two if you've got time. But I would say, you know, if you're thinking about writing a book, you've got to make that choice, and you've got to choose one thing. And then that's the next step. Okay, and then time management comes into it, diarising, all that kind of stuff. Diarising, is that a word? I don't never know what it is. But I hope that helps. That's the first bit, by the way. That's not all of it. But please do this. If you're having this thing, because I've done it this morning. Look, I come in this morning, right? And I sit there, and even though I made a plan last night of what to do, I'm just completely blank. I'm completely lost. It's like I can't grasp what to do first. So I go back to the plan, and the key is the plan. You've got to make a plan, and you've got to stick to it, and share it with other people if that matters to you. If there are people that you live with where they're going to have to know about your plan, and look, it's really important to me, I sit down at this time and do this one thing, so can you just respect that, and we don't make any plans around that time. If you don't say that, people won't take it seriously, not because they don't care, but because you haven't expressed that. So do your mind dump, get it all on a bit of paper, and then let me know how you get on.